Mission 125. So happy you could be joining us on a great Saturday afternoon here in Thornburg, Virginia. Blake McCandless alongside Rick Allen, who will be joining us for the call of tonight's action from Dominion Raceway. And Rick, well, welcome to the ZMAX Cars Tour booth.
Well, I appreciate it, Blake. I've been looking forward to this for quite some time now. The smile on my face, obviously, is pretty evident. Getting back to the roots of racing and short track racing, grassroots racing, is so much fun for me, and it's been great getting to know a lot of the drivers and the personalities that are a part of this series. So looking forward to qualifying, which is coming up. We have a full day, really, of action taking place. Practice took place a little bit earlier today, but obviously with the local racing also going on, we've got so much to see here. Just had a tour from the racetrack owner. Steve was walking me through, introducing me to so many people, and just a beautiful facility. We've got a great night for racing. Really looking forward to everything that's about to take place.
That we do. You can see Mini Tyrell standing by. You can see Mason Bailey's car that is being pushed to the front end of the grid. Second biggest field of cars that have competed here in late model stocks for the ZMAX Cars Tour presented by Sound Gear at this racetrack. You take a good look at many of them that are lined up. Again, about 15 minutes or so away from getting them lined up. As you can see, your schedule pop up right there. Around at 5:15 start for qualifying. We're looking at roughly 6:30 p.m. To get our pre-race ceremonies underway, followed by driver introductions. And then the racing begins. The Minis Mission 125 for the late model stock cars, followed by, like you mentioned, Rick, the Bandoleros, Legends, and Dominion stocks that will also be a part of our program tonight.
Yeah, and you skipped over it pretty quickly there. Driver intros are very, very important today. And the reason I say that is because we've got a lot of families here with Mini's Mission that Mini Tyrell has done such a fascinating job of shining a spotlight on the less fortunate, kids that have been stricken by cancer. And so we have a lot of families here. They're going to be introduced with the drivers tonight, and we're trying to just raise awareness for Mini's Mission. It caught the eye of Jeff Gordon. I was talking to him earlier today. Jeff Gordon had said, you know what, I saw what Mini Tyrell was trying to do. It was impressive. I tried to partner up with him with the Jeff Gordon Foundation, and it's just been a lot of fun to learn about what Mini Tyrell is trying to do here. And like I said, during driver intros, we're going to meet a lot of the families that have been affected by cancer. They are going to be out here with these teams, so they'll get introduced as well.
And speaking of Mini Tyrell, let's go ahead and hear from him. He's standing by with the third member of our broadcast team, James Pike.
Well, thank you, Blake. Thank you, Rick. I am here with Mini Tyrell. This is the Minis Mission 125, and all the races on the ZMAX Cars Tour presented by Sound Gear are big events in and of themselves, but we're racing for a little bit of a different purpose tonight. Mini's largely the reason behind that. So, Mini, what makes the Minis Mission 125 so special, and why does it mean so much to you?
Man, this race means so much to me and my family, and you know, I started Mini's Mission when I was 6 years old. I had a friend named Eladay who was diagnosed with a brain tumor at the age of 7, and that's how the whole mission kind of started. And Mini's Mission now is a 501c3 nonprofit, and we dedicate kind of our funds to quality of life programs, pediatric cancer research, and anybody that needs help in the community. I'm willing to do it, and it's been one heck of a ride. Love all the support from all my teams and drivers who have done, gone countless measures to make sure their family's doing good and having fun. So it's only getting started. The pit tours are great. The car rides are awesome, and I can't wait to see what Driver Intros does. And no matter who wins tonight, I think we all win in a way and making someone smile and feel good.
Many just referenced it, that there have been multiple families of children and patients that are going through cancer treatment at many of the hospitals around here. This is not the first year that this program has been run. How special is it to you to see it grow over the course of the last few years, become what it has?
Man, it's been huge. Like just from the first year we did it, we started with 12, and then the next year we came back and we did 30, and getting the whole field involved was just awesome. And I mean, last night at the dinner, I had so many people come up and say, man, what are you gonna do next year? It keeps growing, we're running out of room. So that's to be determined. But just so awesome to have the support of the car store, the ownership group, all of the Dominion Raceway staff for how hard they're working and allowing me to do this and kind of take over the weekend. And it kind of brings all of us drivers and teams back down and realize how lucky we are to do this.
And Minnie makes a good point that it does put things into perspective. Yes, a lot of these drivers want to race, want to win, but for so many of the people here and the families here this weekend, it's about just getting away from the trials and tribulations of everyday life and just having a good time at the racetrack. A lot of the folks here at the Car Store have helped make that happen, and all behind the efforts of Minnie's mission.
Yeah, thanks, James. And Minnie was actually telling me last night at that event, it's a different perspective. And obviously, you know, parents, when you have kids that are able to go out and live their dreams and race cars and do different things, he affected one of those parents last night who went out to his car, grabbed his checkbook and wrote Minnie a check for $5,000 and said, you know what you're doing is great. You are helping the quality of life of these kids, and that's what's really important. And so that's what we're doing. We're raising awareness this weekend, and hopefully it continues on throughout the year, that people understand just what these guys do. One of the fun things, I think, is what is a part of that logo that we see up there. It says, burn rubber to help another. Yep. The Mini's Mission 125. And we love that, that he has put that as a priority in his life to help other people.
Exactly. And again, this is the third year that the Car Store has done this, taking children and families from Walter Reed and Children's National Hospital who have or are currently battling cancer for an all-expenses-paid weekend with the Car Store. They reference the dinner that they had last night, which, by the way, was right here at the racetrack. Another amazing event that they've put on. And like Minnie said, it's been growing every single year, and it continues to do that as well. They had many of these families out at Lake Anna a couple of days ago as well for a day of boating, swimming, and fishing, as well as what he said earlier today. We saw it up here in the broadcast booth, Rick, just a bunch of kids and families that were able to take a little bit of a lap around the racetrack, and the smiles were wide, even from our vantage point up here in the booth.
Quality of life, and that's what Minnie's mission has been able to do, is make kids smile a little bit and feel a little bit more normal, like they don't have to battle with a different thing. And again, you had mentioned that the event was here at the racetrack. Let's talk about the particulars of this racetrack here in Thornburg, Virginia. The racetrack was actually opened in 1952, but that's a little bit deceiving because this racing surface and this facility is a little newer than that, and the fact that it's about 10 years old now. It's only a 4/10 of a mile oval, and the bankings and the turns is 14 degrees, but I believe 9 degrees in the straightaways, right, Blake?
That is correct, and it's a totally unique facility. Again, it's an encompassing word when it comes to Dominion Raceway. Even as we were driving in before practice started earlier today, there were Camaros and Mustangs, and I think I even saw just a couple of regular old four-door sedans that were out there on the road course earlier today, and they've been making laps throughout the day. They had the drag strip open last night for some runs that we saw, so it is a pure facility in a very encompassing part of that here at Dominion Raceway. But again, qualifying just on the other side of this break. You're watching the ZMAX Cars Tour presented by Sound Gear live on FloRacing for the Mini's Mission 125.
Every crack, every tire mark, every layer of paint. At every short track in America, they tell a story. But this one's a little different. Hickory Motor Speedway, the birthplace of NASCAR stars, and that's not just a slogan, because from Earnhardt to Jarrett's, Setzer's, and Houston's, generations of racing royalty have carved their way around this historic oval. In the modern stock car racing scene, now new names are trying to build foundations right there. On the ZMAX Cars Tour, veterans and rising stars aim to capture checkered flags and build legacies. But for some, they're just getting started. And there's no better place to do it than at this throwback track for the Throwback race. It's a track that teaches you that not everything needs to be polished and perfect. You conquer the cracks and the imperfections, you can achieve greatness. And while it's important to celebrate racing heritage, we also look to the future of pavement racing. We want the present and the future to mean as much as a legendary past. And it starts now. Let's hold the biggest night in pavement late model racing history. The Throwback Classic at Hickory Motor Speedway.
Welcome back to coverage of the ZMAX Car Store presented by Sound Gear, live on FloRacing from Dominion Raceway for the Minis Mission 125. I'm here with the most recent and newest first-time winner on the ZMAX Car Store. Chase Burrow got the job done at Langley Speedway 2 weeks ago. So, Chase, now that you're a winner in this series, does that sort of change your perspective on how you approach things, knowing that you've accomplished that feat and climbed that mountain?
No, not really. You know, we always show up to win, so to be able to win in this series is huge, and that's still our goal, so we'll try to keep doing it.
How do you feel about the pace in your car, getting ready to go after it for 125 laps later?
I think we got a really good race car. The guys worked hard on it, and we'll see what we can do right here in qualifying and get a good spot.
Do you trust your chances in Q? Do you like maybe the Q pace more than the race pace, or the race pace more than the Q?
I feel like we got really good race pace, so as long as we can bust a lap right here and get a good spot, we should be good. But like I say, we got really good race pace, so we'll see.
And a long green flag run definitely suits his driving style, would fall right into his wheelhouse. The Cape William, Virginia native looking to go back-to-back at Dominion this evening.
Thank you, James. And I think Chase Burrow kind of says it all right there. That's the exact type of race that you would see at Langley Speedway, where he became the most recent winner in the ZMAX Cars Tours. We take a look at the top 10 in the point standings. Now, again, something I want to emphasize that's a little bit different this year is the different point total that is available for drivers to win the race. It had been 33 points in the past. Now it's 44 points to win a race. So, Rick, when you look at that, you can see 7th on up. We still have quite a battle for the championship on our hands.
Yeah, very tight. Your top 10 separated by just 55 points. And again, this is just the 8th race of 15, so a lot of opportunities still in front of these drivers. And remember, qualifying coming up here in just a few moments, and 2 points, you win the pole, and a point to start on that front row. So think about that. 2 points separating the top 2 right now between Landon Lewis and Connor Hall. That could be even at the drop of the green flag when we get ready for this race, depending upon how qualifying goes. And cars getting ready to roll out onto the track. It'll be 2 laps each car, and Connor Waddell is going to start off the qualifying session for us in the 8, and he's about ready to roll off, so we're looking forward to that. Obviously, qualifying very important. 125 laps, not a lot of time for guys to move up if they have a bad qualifying effort.
Well, and again, we talk about it. It seems like every single week. It's a broken record in the ZMAX Cars Tour about how important qualifying is, and that we're probably going to look at the speed charts sometime after this qualifying session is done. You're going to be able to look from 5th to nearly 20th or 25th, perhaps even all the way back to our 27-car field, and you're going to see very little separation amongst the entire field as they get the green light from our officials down there to come back around and take the green flag. Again, no dead lap like we've seen at a couple of 0.4 of a mile ovals this season, as we welcome the first driver on the racetrack to take the qualifying. In fact, it's his first ZMAX Cars Tour start as a young 15-year-old, and Connor Waddell in the first choice garage door Chevrolet is the first one to hit the track.
We did see in practice earlier pretty impressive speeds. The fastest lap was turned by Tate Fogelman at a 15 flat, more or less. So that'll give you a little perspective as to what we see here out of Connor Waddell. His fastest lap in that 2 laps was a 15:30. So 15:30 for Connor Waddell as qualifying is underway.
Second car out is Parker Eatman, but for more trackside, let's head down to James Pike.
I've got Landon Lewis, who's got back-to-back wins at Ace and North Wilkesboro on his resume so far this year. Landon, not the luck you wanted with a mechanical issue at Langley, but did that dampen any of the momentum that you have with this team?
I mean, yeah, Langley didn't go our way like we thought it was going to. We led all the way up to lap 85, so things are looking really good until they weren't. So we'll just try to bounce back like we have been the last couple of weeks. Guys have worked hard this week. We weren't very good off the truck and made it a lot better. So we'll see what we got. Just got to qualify closer to the front, and we'll see what we got for the race.
Track position likely going to be key tonight for Landon at Dominion.
Indeed it is, as Parker Eatman clocks in second fastest, just behind Connor Waddell's lap time, as we welcome the driver that is looking to take back the championship points lead that he had early in the season. At least for now, he'll sit on the front row of the 3 cars we've sent out, as Connor Hall in the number 88 Bass Pro Shop Chevrolet for Junior Motorsports. We'll come back around and see the VP Racing Fuels checkered flag from Brandon Willard, and as he built some insurance on that time, up to a 15:189 for Connor Hall.
Yeah, pretty good lap there at 15:18 for Connor Hall. In practice, he was 10th fastest overall. We'll see if he can equate that practice speed into qualifying, or maybe a little bit better with that lap, as he is right now the number that everyone is shooting for. Chad McCumbee out on the racetrack, and when I saw Chad McCumbie's name on the entry list, it took me all the way back to the Craftsman Truck Series about 20 years ago when I was calling Chad McCumbie's races on that level, as he gets the checkered flag for his run. And McCumbee now the fastest in this qualifying session at a 15:10.
So a very solid lap there from McCumbee, making his 5th start at Dominion in the ZMAX Cars Tour. This is the next car out on the racetrack, Buddy Isles Jr., the flying number 11, out of Littleton, North Carolina, in the Timber Waters Chevrolet. Again, rolling these cars out quickly. Typically, sometimes at these racetracks, we'll see a dead lap given to these drivers to warm up, but they are coming right out of the pits to the green flag. And Buddy Isles Jr., again, struggled a little bit with the handling of his race car all weekend long. You can see that continuing right here as Isles will finish up his 2nd lap, but still 5th fastest of the 5 cars we've sent out thus far.
Got to throw a congratulations out to Denny Hamlin, his wife Jordan, as far as the birth of their son. Just happened a couple days ago. Denny won't be at the race in Mexico because of that, but the 11 reminded me of the reason Denny Hamlin drives the 11, a Virginia native that followed after Ray Hendrick with that number 11, as we see the 5 on track now. And Caden Honeycutt, 5th in practice earlier as far as speeds. Still, it's Chad McCumbee that is fastest in this qualifying session. And Caden Honeycutt 3rd quickest with his qualifying run, as the 04 now out on track with Ronnie Bassett Jr.
So the Buddy Scoop Chevrolet will come up to full song off of turn 2. For more, let's head down to James Pike.
I've got Landon Pembleton, former track champion here, former Valley Star Credit Union 300 winner. Landon, you told me earlier you felt like you had the feel down on this car from the moment you got here. How easy has it made it this weekend to just pull out of the box and know that you're fast?
Man, it's been a big testament to my RNS guys. Marcus Richmond unloaded Thursday and had a very fast car, and kind of been maintaining that throughout the week, and making minor changes, kind of adjusted to the racetrack, but I think we got some form. Just going to try not to overthink it here and just do my thing.
Walking in his pit, there was a lot of confidence going throughout this Zero crew. Landon Pembleton likely to be a big threat tonight at Dominion.
Ronnie Bassett Jr. clocks in 5th fastest as Mason Bailey. He'll receive the white flag for his 2nd lap in the Glass Guys Chevrolet. 3rd start at Dominion and 4th appearance in 2025 here in the ZMAX Cars Tour presented by Sound Gear. It's Bailey off the corner. A very good opening lap, but he is able to match it or do a little bit better. Still 4th fastest, though, at 15.241.
Bailey, like so many others in this sport, family-oriented with the team. About 4 or 5 guys on their crew, but his dad helps out quite a bit. So Mason Bailey out of Richmond, Virginia, as you mentioned. The 4 now out on track. Donovan Strauss, talked to him a little bit during the drivers meeting. He said that his number 4, and I made a little bit of a joke about this earlier, but there are 4 number 4s in this race. Just want to make sure. And I asked Donovan, why is your number 4 the best? And he said, well, because it looks the best. I said, okay,
there you go.
That might be an individual thing, but at the same time, if that's what he thinks, then great for him. And Donovan Strauss is 3rd quickest with his qualifying run, as we see the 15 of Daniel Silvestri out on track now, the 22-year-old out of Blacksburg, Virginia.
Again, Donovan Strauss leading the Rookie of the Year points, and Daniel Silvestri, he knows all about that. He won in his rookie year here at this racetrack in the ZMAX Cars Tour. In fact, it's its only Cars Tour win in his first lap through, running for Logan Clark Racing in the WG Speaks Ford. Clocks in 9th fastest, and the former winner will get almost up into the top 5. Currently good for 6th for Daniel Silvestri.
Here comes Mini Tyrell, and exciting to see the 81 out on track. I think, Blake, you were telling me there's a lot of significance to the 81, especially in this race, right?
Absolutely. For Mini Tyrell, we know everything that's going on with the Mini's Mission 125, but for Mini Tyrell, and you and I were talking about this earlier, 20 years old, 81st start in the ZMAX Cars Tour. You can barely believe it, and these fans here are going to go wild as he clocks in 2nd fastest. Does he have a better lap to try and take hold of the Thunder Road Harley-Davidson pole? And he does. Mini Tyrell, a 15.062, fastest of the bunch thus far.
What a lap there for Mini Tyrell, as he has put that number 81 at the top of the scoring chart so far of the 12 that have been out there on the track.
So now this is Jonathan Finley, the GXS Raps Ford, who will come across the start-finish line. Again, we talk about family-owned operations. This is another great example of it. He was working by himself for about 45 minutes through practice yesterday on his car and his team that pretty much includes him, his dad, his crew chief, and his spotter, and that's pretty much it. And a solid lap there from Jonathan Finley, another former winner here in the Cars Tour Dominion, 7th fastest for Jonathan Finley.
Now the 8 of Tate Fogelman out on the track, and this is the car that I think surprised a few of us in practice. In the first practice, he was able to put up the fastest lap of the day and then didn't go out in second practice. So I thought, well, maybe he's not wanting to show all of his cards. But this lap here is going to be a little bit shy. It's 5th quickest on his first lap, and his second lap as he crosses the stripe goes up to 3rd fastest for Tate Fogelman. So not able to duplicate what he was able to do in practice earlier, as the 88's now out on track. That's Doug Barnes.
Somebody that is very familiar with this racetrack. In fact, you can see, again, it's usually a Lee Pulliam Performance Toyota that he's piloting. He's brought his own race car that he has raced with here at Dominion for years in the Air Doug, and you can even see a Ferrari decal on the front end of that car, and he is fast, 4th fastest, in fact, for Doug Barnes Jr. We talk about drivers who need a little bit of a pick-me-up. I don't think this track and this race could come at any better part of the schedule for Doug Barnes Jr., unable to follow up that great opening lap with a better one on his second effort. So Doug Barnes Jr. solidly in the top 5 for now.
Yeah, not very far off. He duplicated his first lap, well, almost 4 1,000ths of a second.
Just off.
So pretty impressive 2 laps back-to-back at that pace, as we see Caden Quapple out on the racetrack now. The Quapple name, obviously very familiar with stock car racing and NASCAR racing. Travis Quapple, he used to call his races in the truck series. So now as we see Caden taking the checkered flag, his second lap complete, and Caden Quapple will be 5th fastest in this qualifying session.
That's a really solid lap for the former Cars Tour Pro late model champion in Caden Quapple with his family-owned team. Goes up to 5th. Carson was piloting that car at North Wilkesboro Speedway just a couple of weeks ago. As, again, we talk about so many drivers that call this home. Connor Jones, he says it for good reason in the Jones Utility Chevrolet for Mike Darn Racing, 4th fastest in the number 44. Can Connor Jones try to move his way up into the front row? Off of turn 4, solid looking lap. Oh, and he's just shy of pole. Connor Jones, 2nd fastest at a 15.076.
Lost a little bit sliding off of turn number 4 there, as we see the 29 of Landon Lewis. And of course, Landon Lewis looking good right now at the top of the point standings through 7 races, and looked very good in practice. Also had the 2nd fastest lap. We'll see what he can do here. And lap number 1 for Landon Lewis is down in 12th. A little bit surprising that he runs a 15.27 on that first lap. Let's see if he can get a little bit closer to what he did in practice on this second lap. And it puts him up to 4th on his second lap at a 15.13. So Landon Lewis might be a little disappointed with that performance in qualifying there, as he will start just inside the top 5 with quite a few cars still to go.
Again, that MMI Chevrolet has been the car that has been the talk of the pit area for the last several weeks, with this surge of momentum that he has carried as we welcome in the Folsom Fence Supply Chevrolet of Laney Bice to the racetrack, running for the same car and race team that won this race and led all 125 laps a year ago. Bice 15th fastest, but able to hold that car a little bit lower on the track here on lap number 2. And what a big pickup for Laney Bice, up to 3rd in the 0-3.
Laney Bice, great run there for that young lady, as she will pull back on the pit road. And now it's the 57 on track of Landon Huffman, the 29-year-old out of Claremont, North Carolina.
And Huffman kind of riding a wave of consistency that right now puts him 4th in the championship standings as things run for now. Again, had an interesting end to Langley Speedway a couple of weeks ago as his first offering here is 14th fastest. But again, we talk about the Cars Tour, half a tenth is up in 8th as he slides a little bit off of turn 4, and unfortunately, that's going to cost him on his second lap. So not going to be able to go faster. Again, the margin of error here in this series is just razor, razor thin.
Aaron Donnelly next to be on the clock. Picked up about 0.4 of a second from practice 1 to practice 2, but still wasn't one of the top 20 cars in practice. We'll see if he found any speed here in this qualifying run. And the first lap for Aaron Donnelly, a 15:70. So he's definitely not going to be happy with that first lap. We'll see if he can pick it up on lap number 2, a little bit closer to the bottom of the racetrack.
Oh!
Big slide as he comes off of turn 4, hangs on to it. But the improvement doesn't move him up the chart at all. 15:47 for his second lap, but he's still 21st, or 22nd, excuse me.
There were several teams I talked to in the pit area, and we heard a little bit earlier from James Pike that this was the car that many teams thought was the fastest bullet in the chamber here at Dominion Raceway. He didn't run in second practice, didn't feel the need to right here as his first lap goes to 10th. It is the 0 of Landon Pimbleton in the Pimbleton Forestry Chevrolet. Landon Pimbleton, former track champion a year ago, off of turn 4, and it looks like he's going to be able to pick up to 7th.
7th for the 0 of Landon Pimbleton as the double 0 now takes out onto the track, and that's Chase Burrow. And we mentioned Chase Burrow at the top of the show, the most recent winner in the Cars Tour, as he was able to get to victory lane for his first win at Langley 2 weeks ago. And that confidence definitely can build and help a driver to improve. Chase Burrow was 18th fastest on his first lap of qualifying. Let's see if he can pick it up on lap 2. A little bit of an increase to 15th overall at a 15:25.
You see Mini Tyrell anxiously watching on to see if any of these drivers can try and upset him. And I think he knows that this driver is all but capable of doing just that. In the GU Eagle Sterling Building Group Ford for R&S Race Cars, Cade Brown in the number 4, currently riding a streak that puts him 3rd in the championship standings. 6 top 10s in 7 starts here in 2025. Cade Brown off of turn 4. He'll come around to complete his second lap, which is a little further down the chart than I'm sure he would have wanted. Second lap is 11th fastest for Cade Brown.
Pretty good pickup there from lap 1 to lap 2 as we have Dustin Storm on the racetrack, and we definitely don't want his name to come to fruition here in Virginia, as we have had some storm clouds in the area. But Dustin Storm on lap number 1 has put down a lap, and we'll see if he is able to improve upon that. He was 22nd fastest with his first lap. And lap number 2, as he sees the checkered flag on his qualifying session, Dustin Storm's going to hold on to that 22nd spot.
And very quickly, we're down to just the last couple of cars left to go in qualifying. This is one of the 3 that you'll see taken to the racetrack in the number 2 Crossroads Harley-Davidson Chevrolet for the Carroll Speed Shop. Brandon Pierce out of Oak Ridge, North Carolina, got to celebrate his 100th start a couple of weeks ago at Langley Speedway. Now on start 101, as he is kindly reminded by the tape that Landon Huffman put next to the 100 start decal that he has on his race car. 21st fastest for Brandon Pierce at one of his best racetracks, and he's able to improve 1 spot up to 20th at a 15:312.
You mentioned winding down. We have Tristan McKee on track. He was 3rd fastest in practice earlier today. And Tristan McKee, the youngest driver in the field at just 14 years old. What an impressive young driver this is, as he was able to get a Cars Tour win in the Pro Lane division when he was just 12 years old. And McKee 15th fastest on lap number 1 as he comes around for his second lap with the final car of qualifying now on track. McKee stays 14th fastest. And the final car, the 22 of Carson Lofton, on track.
Carson Lofton in the 3M Toyota for Nelson Motorsports, the driver that, if he can turn in a solid lap, could perhaps start to challenge Donovan Strauss for the Rookie of the Year, as he sits a couple points back in that battle at the moment. As Carson Lofton's first lap here, has plenty of experience here in a modified, but now taken to the late model stock, is 16th. Off of turn 4, can Carson Lofton mount a charge to get up to the front row? Doesn't look like it's going to happen. He is able to hold on to that 16th spot, but wouldn't you know it, part of Mini's mission, first objective is complete for Mini Tyrell. He is your pole sitter yet again for the 3rd time in 2025. Mini Tyrell will be starting on the front row, 5th career Thunder Road Harley-Davidson Pole Award.
And already has the sign and knows what he's doing there. And James has already chatted with him earlier about Mini's mission, but how about this? The fastest car in the field. Let's go to James.
Winner of the Thunder Road Harley-Davidson Pole Award here at Dominion Raceway in 2025. Mini poles usually are pretty significant, but this one I have to believe means a little bit more.
Yeah, I'm pretty emotional right now, actually. I mean, we've gotten 2 of these already this year, which has been incredible, and but this weekend means a lot to me and my mission, and I'm just so blessed, man. I can't thank Brandon Butler enough, Billy Banks for this awesome race engine, BDL Motorsports, Coleman Rector, he's here tonight, David Taylor with Jesus is Lord, Victoria Swimwear, everybody that helps me get here, man. This weekend is not only about racing, but it's so much more, and making people feel good. So I'm just blown away, actually. I've never had a pole where I've raced so much at this racetrack, and the worst I finished is 6th, and I've been so close so many times, so I'm really praying that tonight's the night.
Really quickly, you've got some names on your right sleeve on your fire suit. What's the significance of that to you and your organization?
Yeah, these are all kids and people that I've grown up with and met through this journey. This is Irvin Weibel. His father's here tonight. I lost him. And, Alex from Alex's Army, I've lost him too. He's a good friend of mine. There's so many names that are up and down this sleeve that thank you, buddy, that I carry with me through every race. So I will be remembering them and everybody else that we've lost, and hopefully that all these kids get well and they can keep on coming to these races and having cool experiences with us.
A good start here for Mini Tyrell this evening, picking up the Thunder Road Harley-Davidson Pole Award, but another great reminder that Blake Rick tonight is about so much more than just the race.
It definitely is, and you saw the emotion there out of Mini Tyrell. You do see the smiles there because he's starting up front. Obviously, there's a race to win here tonight, and what better way to spread your message than to get to victory lane. Obviously, he's won the pole. We've been able to chat with him there, but we've got 125 laps in front of him, and we've now found out that it's Mini Tyrell who is the fastest of the field.
We knew Mini Tyrell was going to be fast. This has been traditionally one of his best racetracks, but we'll see with his 3rd Thunder Road Harley-Davidson Pole Award of the Year if he can try to end up in Cookout Victory Lane.